Alright, what's up, people? How you all doing? I want to talk about NBA topics, so if you're interested in NBA, stay here and be prepared. Now, it's been several days since this happened, so I'm basically saying old news. It's the dispute between Mr. Kwame Brown and Mr. Shannon Sharpe. Now, personally, I don't like to argue with my people. I don't like arguing with my people. I don't like cussing my people out. I don't like embarrassing them, so on and so forth. I make it my personal responsibility, if I can, to always uplift my people. Even if I don't agree, I try to uplift them. So that's the first thing I have against Mr. Sharpe and Mr. Brown. If you're going to disagree in a more respectful manner. You don't have to love, I'm going to say his name, LeBron James. You don't have to. But if you're going to disagree in a more intelligent, thought-provoking manner. You don't got to get on there insulting each other, cussing each other out, so on and so forth. Like I said, for me, I don't like to embarrass or shame my own people. Now, I want to really focus on the disparaging remarks that Mr. Sharpe had about Kwame Brown. He made like Kwame Brown seem like a complete NBA bust. He was not a complete NBA bust. And you may be asking, he seemed like a team, but here's the reason why. From what I know from my fellow YouTuber, Too Raw from Sports, but I probably could do the research, but I didn't. I definitely know because I used to watch the NBA in those early 2000s when Kwame Brown was a rookie. I remember when he got drafted by Michael Jordan as the overall #1 draft pick, and I'm going to get into that. But right now, I just want to focus on what Shannon said about Mr. Brown, that he's a bust. He was not a bust. If you play in the NBA for at least 13 years, 10 years, you're not a bust. Kwame Brown outshone many #1 draft picks. Now, I'm not going to call no names out. Some #1 draft picks, they can barely play one season. One season they can't play. And we have seen that many times. Many #1 draft picks, they can do absolutely nothing on the floor. They don't even survive 5 years. Kwame Brown survived 13 years. So he was not no bust. Now, he may not be what most would think of a #1 draft pick, but how many #1 draft picks are successful in the NBA? It's very rare to see a successful #1 draft pick. That's why people like LeBron James, Tim Duncan, and some of the others, like Hakeem Olajuwon, that's why they so held in such high esteem as #1 draft picks, because they led their teams to like NBA Finals and won championships. But if you look over the history, many #1 draft picks have not won no championships for that team. The ones who do, that's why they held in such high esteem. But so getting back to Mr. Shannon Sharpe, insult of Kwame Brown. I listened to some of the excerpt calling him a bust. He was not no bust. If you play 13 years in the NBA, you're not no bust. Even if you play 10 years in the NBA, you're not a bust. That means you have some skill. You have some serviceable skill. Now, it may not be up to the level that you want him to be, but still, he survived over a decade in the NBA. So that means he could do something. He can do something. As I stated earlier, going back to the 80s and the early 2000s, I'm not going to embarrass no one. I'm not going to call no names. We've seen #1 draft picks, as soon as they step on the floor, they get hurt. They do something to their leg or their foot on and on and on. At least Kwame Brown, his body was able to withstand the rigors of the NBA for at least over a decade. His body was tough enough to survive it. So, he was not a bust. And then plus, if he was a bust, from what I heard from listening to my brother Tuval from sports, he made at least $60 million on his lifetime. You know, this is the current era where the NBA players get over $100 million. But if you got $60 million, at least $60 million, that's, quote, generational wealth. You can live well off that type of money. It ain't like no $10 million or $5 million. $60 million, and you know how to invest it. You can make that grow into hundreds of millions real quick. So that's how much Kwame Brown at least made. I don't know the exact figures, but you all can just easily look it up on YouTube, on the internet, to see how much he made. But I know he made multiple millions in his time spending. Now I'm gonna get to the number 1 draft pick and my little excerpt over. Now, like many, you know, Kwame Brown, from what I know, I could be wrong, you can correct me, but I think he was the first number 1 draft pick selected straight from high school. After that came LeBron and some others, but from what I know, Kwame Brown was the first player drafted straight from high school to the NBA. So if he was drafted number 1, that means wherever school he played for, considering all the other athletes in the nations, he was one of the top players. The top players in the high school level. Now, in my mind, it's some negatives from graduating from high school than going to the NBA. I'm going to use LeBron and Kobe as an example. There may be some others. Even Kevin Garnett, he came from high school and went to the NBA. There are some major negatives if you don't go to college. This is negative number 1. If you don't go to college, you are not just a plan in a system. When you're in high school, you treated as the guy. Everything goes through you because you in high school is the guy. Kwame was the guy. Kobe was the guy. LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, and so on and so forth. So on that particular basketball team, they were the epitome. And that's the negative because they did not go to college. Because when you go to college, you have to play within a system. When you go to college, you may not always be given the ball when you want to be given. Because we know college coaches, they make millions of dollars. The college coaches, they have more prominence than the players. In the NBA, you know, the players have more prominence than the coaches. But in college, the coach is the coach. You don't tell him what to do. You better get in his system. Michael Jordan learned to play in the system. Magic Johnson learned to play in the system. Hakeem Olajuwon learned to play in the system. And the list goes on and on because they went to college. So they was adjusted to playing in a system. And because of that, people usually play in a system. They can take any coach, basically, any coach, and win championships. Hakeem took Rudy Tomjanovich to 2 championships. Magic Johnson took Pat Riley and a coach before him, I don't know his name, Larry Bird, took his coach to NBA championships because they can play in a system. You know, players like, I'm just going to use Kobe and LeBron, for instance. See, LeBron, to win his championships, he has to go to a team after team after team. And when he go to the team, he has to put top-level players around him. Magic didn't need that. Bird or Jordan. Whatever players the team drafted, they made it work. But LeBron, he has to go from team to team. And when he go from team to team, he said, I want you to get this player and that player blase. Kobe Bryant, remember, we love to praise Kobe Bryant, but he only won because he had Phil Jackson. He could not tell Phil what to do. Phil was already a pedigree winning coach. He won 6 championships with the Bulls and 3 championships with the Lakers. So he already had 10 championships. So Kobe had to listen to him. I heard Kobe had like Mike Dunleavy, Rudy Tomjanovic, and some other coaches. He didn't want to listen to them. He didn't want to play their system. He wanted to play the Kobe way. So those coaches, since Kobe didn't want to play that way, he didn't win no championships. He only won championships when he had to humble himself and get back into that triangle offense. LeBron James has to jump from team to team. Now, getting back to Kwame, see, since Kwame didn't go to college, just like Kobe and LeBron, he really was not ready for the NBA team way of winning. And plus, his body, Kwame was sort of big, but he was not adjusted to the way NBA players had to play. LeBron, he was sort of ready, but he still didn't have no jump shot when he first came into the league. He still wasn't really ready. He just had a body that was ready, but skill-wise, LeBron wasn't ready. Nor was Kobe ready. Kobe spent, I guess, a good 2 years, you can correct me if I'm wrong, at least a good 2 years on that bench watching, soaking it up, learning. Usually when a player go to college and come to the NBA, they ready to go right in there. Like Michael Jordan, he was ready to go. Larry Bird, he came in knowing what to do. Magic Johnson, he came ready. Hakeem, he came ready, and the list goes up. Patrick Ewing, he came ready because they went to college and they used to play under a coach's system. So Kwame, since he didn't go to no college, he was not prepared for the rigors of the NBA. Like Kobe wasn't ready, LeBron wasn't really ready, and some of the other players, like Kevin Garnett, he wasn't no winner either until he went to Boston. He came right from high school. He was not ready to win because they did not subject themselves to the authority of a college level coaches who made them play within a system and with other players. They was not ready. So, getting back to Shannon Sharpe, when you want to start cussing out Kwame Brown about not being a good draft pick, you better realize LeBron James only won a championship when he had to learn from Dwayne Wade. Remember, he went to Miami, a team that already had championship experience, a team that already had deep playoff experience repeatedly. Yes, LeBron went to the playoffs, I believe in 2007, when he faced the San Antonio Spurs. But remember, when he went to the finals, he still wasn't ready because he got swept. So, like I said, because he really didn't know how to play against a superior team. He only knew how to play the LeBron James method. And as you saw with Kobe and others, when they play their way, the one-sided way, team offense, team defense is always superior than the one star. So, Mr. Shannon Sharpe, be careful when you insult Mr. Brown, because basically, LeBron James will not be no champion if he didn't get those high-quality players. He didn't jump from team to team. Remember, Kwame was a serviceable NBA player. He never was elite because he never could go to college to develop his skills. You get me? He basically came to the NBA with high school level talent. That's all he had. He didn't have no college experience, so he was mentally he was unprepared. And you know, some things in life, when you're not ready, you never catch up. You never catch up. See, Kobe caught up because he had Shaq with him. LeBron caught up because he had Wade and Bosh, Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving. And with the Lakers, his main star is, I forgot that guy's name, Anthony Davis. So in so many ways, if Kwame, he did have Kobe, but when Kwame had Kobe, he had Kobe with the coaches who Kobe didn't listen to. He didn't listen to those coaches. If Kwame would have been playing with Phil Jackson, we would be seeing him in an entirely different light, because Phil Jackson know how to make just average sinners perform well. He did it with Bill Walton, which was at his end of the career. He did it with Bill Wellington, Luke Longley, etc. And we know Kwame Brown, basically, he had a little bit more skill than them. So if Kwame would have been on that team with Phil Jackson coaching Kobe, he would have 2 championships too. So that's all I got to say, people. Before Shannon Sharpe start insulting his people, and before Kwame Brown and start insulting people, think before you open your mouth. Try not to be like me. Try not to put your own race down. Try to talk to your own people in a civil manner. You don't have to agree with them, but just talk to them civil. Until the next time, people, peace.